And I met their animals. They had a dog, and they had a cat named Mia. Now, Mia, I met the cat, but then when they left, I didn't see the cat again for a couple days. And I actually ended up calling. I was going, there's a cat here somewhere, but I have not seen this cat. So I called and I said, I don't want to alarm you, but I have not seen Mia the cat. And they said, well, we're a little concerned about that, but she usually hides under the bed in the master bedroom. So I went up and looked underneath, and you know, and here's Mia the cat. Just said hi. I said, well, I'm here. I just want you to know that I'm here. And then 2 days later, I had a client over, and I was working and doing some vibrational work with this person, and Mia the cat comes down and comes into the room and then jumps up on the lap of the person I was working with. Okay. Well, hi, Mia. And then she was there for the time while we did with a little bit of the work there, and then it shifted to a different vibration, and Mia left. Well, it started very quickly that Mia began to show up more often, and we began to develop over 10 days that I was there. This was a very interesting relationship. And so when I got the call and the opportunity to be here, of course I wanted to talk about Mia the cat and the spiritual lessons that she taught me. So, with the time I have left, I want to give you as many lessons as I possibly can that came. Now, earlier, I think some of you got a piece of paper. Now, there were 10 lessons, and I wanted to just ask for number 1 to stand up and read that particular lesson just to jog my memory.
Balance, activity, play, and rest.
Balance, activity, play, and rest. Okay. Well, you know how cats are with activity. Mia was very frisky. And she was very present in terms of being available to go ahead and do what she wanted to do in the moment that she was doing it. She would bounce from the windowsill to the top of the bed here, stand up there, come down, and then be present with me for X amount of time, and then run off and do something else. And then in a moment's time, I'd see her flat on her back, just sleeping. And I thought, wow. That's pretty impressive. The ability to be fully present, fully engaged, playful, happy and delightful, and delighted, and then the next minute go, okay, enough, and then went off and took care of herself to gather energy or to go to the cat planet. That's another whole nother talk. I read this book recently about, okay, never mind. I thought it was very interesting, along with the dog planet and the horse planet. It's very interesting stuff. These are curious times, aren't they? I bird walked. I went somewhere else there. But there she is. There she is, showing me and reminding me about care. Now, as a musician, I do late hours, and sleep is almost an afterthought. It's like, okay, I'm tired. I used to teach school as well, and I would have 4 hours when I got home from the clubs, and then I'd have to get up at 6 in the morning and then go teach. And I did great for a while, and then at noon, I'd be prone out on the lawn, catching up on sleep, and then by 3 o'clock when the kids left, I was down on the papers, drooling on their tests, you know, because I was just trying to keep up, and I did that for years and years and years. I did not know self-care. I did not know, at that point, how to honor that balance. But Mia reminded me. So now, I'm in bed at 11 o'clock. It's really hard to be in a bed at 11 o'clock. That's like the second set. But now I am. And I find that I have the mornings again. Yay! So I have all of that. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Mia. Number 2.
Establish and maintain clear boundaries.
She was very good at the boundary thing. Because I told you, she didn't come out until she felt the vibe was right. And like to the point that I didn't even know that she was there. But when she did come out, she was tentative in terms of exploring and getting the feel for things. And when she was able to do that, then she engaged fully because she felt a place of safety. We have a tendency in our culture to be there and be present for so many others, often at the expense of ourselves. And we allow people to come into our boundaries and our space, and we don't even have boundaries, and we think that's the holy thing to do. And yes, it is, and yes, it isn't. Only in the sense that self-care, as number 1, is the primary place, because that allows me then to be in my presence and power and balance to be fully present for anyone else. So Mia taught me a great deal in terms of reminding me of the importance of boundaries and letting in and not letting in at times that were appropriate. Number 3.
Ask for what you want with no real attachment to the outcome.
Mia was a curious one. I had a couple notes here. I didn't want to miss a couple things that I had said about Mia in these. She really made her needs and requests known because she just came up and forced herself into my space. That if my hand was anywhere nearby, she'd come up, put her head right in there, and that was an indication to start petting and to start paying attention to that. And I thought, gosh, you're just so clear on what you want. And then if I played in a way that she didn't necessarily like, there are certain spots in the cat that if you rub, they go, no, no. So she surely made no known. So asking for what she wanted was a very powerful thing, and it reminded me to do the same. And so I was able to go ahead and say, Mia, I don't want to play right now. And then she walked away. So she caught the vibe. Now, Mia was a black cat. I don't know cats well. I just don't know their names and their types in the breed, but she had really long hair. And she had this sort of, just a little white thing right here at the front. Almost looked like a little mustache. It was really cute. It was really cute. And so she just had this presence about her that is another tool of self-care that I can see. What's the fourth thing?
Give freely for the fun of it.
Give freely for the fun of it. Boy, she did. She came up one time and she sat on my chest. This was in the early time when we'd come together. This is the early time. So she laid here, and then she reached out with all the claws. And I was anticipating something intense. Because right here, and it reached out, and then she just raked through my facial hair here. It was like, I went, wow. No animal has ever done such a thing. And I thought, very impressive, very impressive. And you gave without any expectation or any need. So the process of showing up for one another and being fully present, of bringing Brownie along and sharing that vibration with one another is a beautiful place to give. She didn't seem to have any need. I think when she was pushing the hand, I think she had a need. But the truth was that she was giving to me as much as I was giving to her. And so I respect that perspective of hers. Number 5 or 6.
Be confident and decisive in action.
Oh, be confident and decisive. In this room where I was staying, the bed was very high. I almost needed a little step to get up into it, but it was fun. She had no trouble getting up there or whatnot. But there was a windowsill, and I like to keep a window open at night. And there was this windowsill that's about this far, this wide. So in the middle of the night is when she chose to play. So she would frolic around the room for as long as she wanted to. And in the dark, she would leap from the bed right onto this little ledge. And then I would look over because I'd see her and she'd just be sitting there. So there was just an amazing ability to access that. So I would say that she was very, very grounded and very aware of being in her own body, and actually was aware way beyond of what's really going on. So she was able to connect in ways because of her decision to take action. One time she didn't make it, and then this was during the day, she tried to get there, and then she just went down, came back up in the bed, and did it again and made it. So she was very quick to make those choices and act upon them. When I look at my own life, gosh, I want to make this decision, and I'm not sure I want to do it, and I'm not sure it's time to do it here, or what, and if I do it, then this might happen. She had none of that going on. She just made a decision and acted upon it. To me, that's powerful self-care, and I bless her for that awareness. Now, all these things that I've shared so far, ask yourself, how are you with your own self-care? How are you with taking care of those elements that we talked about so far? Of balancing play and rest, of your activity, and bringing a balance between giving and receiving, and enjoying both with no expectation. Curious, isn't it? And to have clear boundaries, and to create that space so that you are in your own space of power, able to be present for those that you choose to be. The universe is calling for things, in my opinion, right now. It's calling for us to show up as who we are.